train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned Northwestern Railway. These are the stories of Sodor. I would consider myself to be a very easygoing engine, but there are things that I hate, winter being one of them. No, it's not because I'm a Christmas Grinch, it's because this snowbound season brings with it a whole host of problems. Ports will often shut down due to ice-covered waters, so a railway loses out on its transportation contracts. A great many mining-based industries will sometimes close for the season, so we're denied those jobs as well. Finally, there's the snow itself. Whenever there's a heavy downpour of the stuff, sidings may become blocked and main lines obstructed. This will often lead to cancelled trains. Mickey does his best to keep the tracks free of snow, with the rest of us offering our assistance by taking up our cumbersome ploughs. But of every engine on Sodor, there were two in particular who excelled at clearing snow. In their pre-LMS days, Donald and Douglas worked on the Caledonian Railway in Scotland. To hear them tell it, the snowdrifts there were 30 feet deep, meaning it was child's play for them to clear the ones on Sodor even during so-called bad periods. Thanks to their tireless efforts, many yards were cleared and many engines pulled from a snowy situation. In December of 1937, the pair were called to the scene of a rather heavy drift. Good grief! What is it, Dougie? We got ourselves a doozy here, Donny. A bonny pile of snow, have we? Nothing we can't handle, I'm sure. I never said I was worried, only that I'm impressed. Did Mickey want us to wait until he got here? Nay, he said to make a start so we... Wait, what was that? I'm not sure. It sounded like a whistle. There it is again. Oi, who's there? Douglas, is that you? Ugh, goodness sake, Donald, it's Henry. Henry, are you alright? I've been better. By oath am I glad you're here. How long have you been stuck there? I don't know. Is it still 1937? Don't fret, Henry. Wait a while. We'll get you out. Wait a while. Are you being clever? Oh, sorry. Poor choice of words. It took the rest of the day for the two middies to dig Henry out of that drift, with Mickey commending them for their excellent work. After a quick inspection, our number 3 was deemed to be in perfect working order. All the same, Mickey gave him a helping buffer. By the time he returned to Knapford, night had fallen. Well, you certainly had an interesting run of things lately, Henry. Aye, first flat tyres, then a snowdrift, maybe I'll run into an elephant next. I don't think that's very likely, Henry. You never know. We've had a lot of snowfall this year. Yeah, I don't much like it either, as it always reminds me of Arthur. Who? Arthur? I've told you about him, haven't I? No. I've never heard of this Arthur either. Me neither. Do you lads want to hear about him? Are you sure, Edward? We're not going to change history by ignoring it, Toby. Did this Arthur do something wrong? Oh yes, he did. And this was the story I told. Arthur was a mixed traffic engine for the middies, one of their earliest additions when they first came to Sodor. Without question, he was the most boastful engine I had ever known. He was forever prattling on about his spotless record, how he had never once been late. What made it worse was that it was true. Somehow, he always delivered his trains on time and without failure. He was also never shy about calling out those engines who were late, even if they were on his own crew. Unfortunately, this pride was what led to his downfall. It was late one night in the winter of 1923 when he had to take an express train. He had suffered a delay and couldn't get out of the station quick enough when he was finally allowed to leave. Eager to make up for lost time, desperate to preserve his spotless record, he tore down the line at a criminally reckless speed. This, combined with the poor visibility, the icy rails and the steep descent of Gordon's Hill, it was small wonder what happened next. He crashed? Came right off the rails. He and his coaches rolled almost 100 yards before stopping, but that wasn't the worst of it. What could be worse? Every single one of his passengers were killed. What about Arthur? What happened to him? He was scrapped. The impact killed him instantly and turned his body into a mangled heap of metal that barely resembled an engine. And it didn't end there either. What do you mean? Come now, Thomas. You don't really believe that. How many people have seen it, Edward? How many? They can't all be wrong. They can't all be right either. What are you talking about? It's reckoned every year on the anniversary of Arthur's death that his ghost appears, hoping desperately to reach its destination so he and the tormented souls of his victims can finally be at peace. Ghosts? I've been on this island near 20 years and I've never seen one. Thank you, Henry. Just out of curiosity, when? Next week. So look out. Thomas, stop going on about nonsense, please. So, you don't believe in ghosts, Edward? No, I don't. And until I see one for myself, I'll remain a skeptic. Now, I'm going to sleep. Good night, lads. Of course, having told that story, I didn't sleep well, and neither did anyone else. As I said before, winter was a time when Sodor's various industries closed for the season, with one noticeable exception: coal. Without this black, dirty stuff, industry would grind to a halt. Winter didn't impede its importance either, with long train loads filled with the material being delivered to power plants and the like. But for such a vital industry, I'm sorry to say the Marston Heights coal mine on Sodor was very inefficient. This was because the mine didn't have its own shunter, and this was because its owner, Franklin Merv, was something of a penny pincher, who calculated it was cheaper to pay a shunting fee than to keep an on-site engine. This was a poor arrangement, as we often argued with the middies over who got to use the chutes first, with the trucks being left everywhere. It finally got so bad that the board forced Mr. Merv's hand and purchased an engine. On the day she arrived at the mine, she would find Diesel and Thomas arguing by the chutes. For the last time, Diesel, no! You've been holding up all the tracks since I arrived. That's because I need to fill a big order of coal. You can check with Mr. Merv. Well, shake a wheel then. I've got to take a shipment of my own back to Brenham, or else the others won't be able to move come tomorrow. I fail to see the problem then. You know, it's too bad an engine can't run on cheek. You'd never need a top up on coal otherwise. Well, it's lucky you're not fueled by deviousness. Your petrol tank would burst if it did. You little... Oi! What's going on here? Who are you? I'm Keith, the new shunter. A little engine like you? Pull the other one. Looking at you, it's no wonder I'm needed. When do you get off making that crack? If you've been the mine shunter up till now, I'm amazed it hasn't closed. First off, I'm not the shunter. And second, is that any way for a lady to talk? You tell me, mate. Shut it, Thomas. You lot too. Alright, I'm done wasting time with you. How about you clear off and let a real engine take over? Grrr. Well, that was beautifully handled. Nicely done. Thanks. I'm used to dealing with engines like him. Sorry to say, he's not the only one on this island. I'm sure I'll manage. So, are you the mine shunter? Because what I said before... No. I'm Thomas. I work for the LNER as a shunter. Oh, nice to meet you. So, the board's finally purchased an engine, eh? Thank goodness for that. This place needs to be put in order on the double. Then I may as well get started. What needs doing first? Well, you could move those trucks Diesel just left there. No worries. Hang about. I thought you said your name was Kate. So why does my nameplate say lady? I take it you get asked that a lot. I do. Can't say I blame anyone for it. It's actually a commemorative plate dedicated to the late wife of the nobleman who built me. Oh, that was sweet. He was a good man, and she was a good woman. Anyway, enough of this. There's work that needs doing. Huh, I like you. And it wasn't long before everyone else came to like her too. Kate quickly made the mine her own. She took care of all inbound and outbound trains, implementing a very efficient system that appeased middies and nor'easters alike. Thanks to her, every coal shipment was organised and dispatched in a timely manner. One of these deliveries, Percy was to make to Kildane. Setting out late in the afternoon, night had fallen by the time he reached Wellsworth. That was where it happened. Whose whistle is that? Bust my buffers! What a silly twit to tear down the hill like that in this weather! Oh my goodness! Jerry, did that sound like a train crash? It most certainly did. It was a passenger train too. We need to get down there, and fast. What? Where is it? I don't know. You did hear the crash, right? By oath I did. Angus, you saw a train go by, didn't you? I did. There's no rubble anywhere. No sign of a crash at all. Maybe we heard wrong. We all heard wrong the sound of a train crash? That sounds unlikely. What other explanation could there be? What's wrong, Percy? Maybe it was Arthur's ghost. Thomas said this was around the time he starts appearing. Come on, Percy, you're being ridiculous. I wish I could have agreed with that statement. I really do. But the nearby residents also heard the crash and turned out in droves to see it and were confused when they didn't find anything. This oddity attracted the attention of a reporter who, after conducting interviews and some research, published an article about Arthur's death and the ghost story that went with it. After the story broke, there was a spike in the number of alleged sightings up and down the line. Throughout this time, I remained skeptical, convinced these sightings were merely the power of suggestion. That was until my encounter. So, my son's back from his trip to the United States. Really? Already? That went by quick. Did he enjoy it? Very much so. He said it's nothing like anything here in Britain. The cities, the lifestyle, and the films. He went to the premiere of an animated picture and can't stop raving about it. What was it called? Let me think. I forget. But I do remember it had the word 7 dwarfs in it somewhere. 7 dwarfs? Sounds a little odd to me. Me too. But what do I know about the cinema? Definitely more than me. Who was that? I don't know. That's odd. I thought Reginald was due in. He was. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Excuse me, you're not on the schedule. Who gave you clearance to stop here? I'm talking to you, mate. Unfortunately, I wouldn't have been able to help as the engine was faceless, meaning talking to it would have been like talking to a wall. I will say there was something very unsettling about that train. Alright, I'm ordering you to get out of your engine. I must warn you, failure to comply with the orders of a railway official may result in... That chilling scream came from the woman who dared to press her face to the shadowy window of one of those coaches. Whatever it was she saw, she became hysterical and turned as white as the snow around us. Her shriek ensured those passengers on the platform jumped back 10 feet, with no one daring to get any closer. I admit I was scared witless by this event, which quickly worsened. Reginald! Look out! Oh no! Reginald? Reginald! Are you alright? Bust my buffers. I better go see if he's okay. Reginald? There was a train at the platform, wasn't there? Yes, there was. And then there wasn't? That's right. How? I don't know how, Reginald. Did we just see a ghost? Edward? We must have. So it's true. Arthur's ghost haunts the line. I can't think of anything else. I owe Thomas an apology. I'm sorry to say the incident would make the papers, the story made all the more tragic by the sad fact the woman from that night was committed to an insane asylum. Business dropped dramatically for both companies as our passengers avoided us like the plague, as did our goods clients. Other engines also encountered the ghost train, causing a widespread dip in morale. The situation finally became unbearable, forcing some of us to come together to discuss a solution. Alright, so we all know why we're here. Now, Edward, why don't you remind us? Put a sock in it, Diesel. Thank you, Douglas. Now this ghost has been terrorizing the line and we need to find a way to get rid of it. I realize this is a unique situation, meaning as far as I'm concerned, there are no foolish ideas. If you have one, put it forward. How about getting the vicar to perform an exorcist? I checked, he doesn't do exorcists. What about Wilbert? When is he meant to be coming back to Sodor? I don't know. Whenever it will be, we can't afford to wait for him. Could we try talking to it? Maybe ask Arthur to leave? About that, Percy, the ghost you saw, what did it look like? Big? Silver? With red stripes and a number 0 on its side tanks. Really? That was the train you saw? Yes, why? That doesn't sound like Arthur to me, because it wasn't Arthur. Well, what do you mean? Arthur was a big red engine, Percy, with the letters LMS on his side tanks. The engine I saw at Marin did not match that description. Does that mean we have 2 ghosts on the island? No, Peter. 1 ghost of unknown origin. Can we be so sure it isn't Arthur? The night I saw him, I did hear a crash at the bottom of the hill, and the engine I saw was pulling MIDI coaches. It can't be a coincidence. So, no, Toby. I guess we can't be sure it isn't Arthur. But if it is, why would he look different as a ghost? That doesn't make sense. We're dealing with the supernatural, Diesel. I doubt anything makes sense where that's concerned. I hate to be the naysayer of the group, but we still haven't thought up how we're going to get rid of the thing. I wouldn't say that. You have an idea, Toby? Maybe. Percy, you said you heard the crash, right? Yes. Well, that tells me he's doomed to repeat his fate. Maybe we can send him away by interrupting this process. How? By telling him he doesn't need to take his coaches. We need to find someone whom Arthur would take orders from. Maybe even someone who was around when he had his accident. But that can only be one person. There is no way he is going to go for that. Are you out of your blooming mind? Told you. Mrs. O, please, if you'll just let me explain. What's there to explain, Toby? You want me to tell the ghost of one of my engines who's been dead for the better part of 20 years to leave the island on the vague assumption he'll do so? Arthur always did strive to make you happy, sir. Perhaps that's one of the reasons why he crashed. What do you mean, sir? I cultivated his ego. I praised him whenever he delivered his trains on time. He was probably trying to please me the night he was killed, which is why I am so unwilling to speak to him. You think he might be holding a grudge against you? Exactly! Maybe he holds me responsible for his fate. What if he tries to take me or something? With respect, sir, don't you think you should at least try? If you don't and things keep going the way they do, we'll all be out of a job. Alright, I'll do it. Really, sir? Diesel's right. As director, I have an obligation to try and keep my business solvent. Oh, thank you, sir. And thank you, Diesel. Don't thank me, Toby. I didn't expect that to work. How are you feeling, Mr. Zorro? I'm not just shaking because it's cold, Toby. We really appreciate what you're doing, sir. Yes. Just don't go blabbing about it to Mr. Starr. I wouldn't want him to think I'm nice, or worse, amiable. Perish the thought, sir. Is everything in place, Diesel? Yep. The station's been cleared and Mickey's on standby. I don't see how much help I'm going to be. You never know, Chief. The station. I wonder if a railway facility anywhere in the world at any point in time has ever been evacuated because of ghosts. This is certainly a way to leave your mark in history then. Yeah, triumphs and blunders, the 2 biggest things people remember. Diesel, all right, I'll belt up. But before I do, can I ask something? What? What if the ghost doesn't show up tonight? We're not that lucky, old chap. Oh, my. It's up to you now, sir. Good luck. Hello? Arthur? Is that you? Well, you're probably wondering why I'm here. I, have good news. I was finally able to get hold of an express engine, so I don't need you to take this train on. You've done very well and can rest easy. Don't you understand? You can go. Did it work? Well done, Mr. Zorro. I can't believe it. Me neither, to be honest. Jolly good work, Toby. If we all had your insight, this would be a much better world. Thank you, Edward. I still can't believe it worked. And for the longest time afterwards, neither could anyone else. The relief we all felt was intense. Life gradually returned to normal on Sodor. As time went by, the story of Arthur's ghost was told over and over again, fading from history into folklore and then into legend. But it will always be real to those of us who were there. And while we never saw Arthur's ghost again, who's to say that we won't? While the recent slew of strikes that befell Sodor were a very unpleasant experience, they did highlight the fact that the infrastructure at Brendam Docks was insufficient to handle heavy periods of shipping. To ensure his engines were never again buried by so much work, Mr. Zorro organised for an upgrade of the harbour. On the western side of the docks, extra berths and sidings were added, as were a number of new warehouses. On the eastern side, a dedicated passenger terminal was built for visiting cruise liners, which boasted its own station. This was probably the most important component of the project, as much of the quayside was now free to exclusively handle cargo ships, and the installation of extra cranes meant that goods could be loaded and unloaded at a much faster rate. To their credit, the Middies did an excellent job in upgrading their home base. Their efforts dramatically increased the dock's overall efficiency, allowing them to handle their workload better. As an added bonus, we no longer were tasked to help them, which was something we all found very, very agreeable. So I arrived at Wellsworth to drop off my trucks. The second I shunt them, Thomas and Percy start laying into me. What'd they say? Among other things, that we're a pack of lazy gits who wouldn't know what hard work was if it rolled up and bumped us in the bunker. Kept on saying that if we were proper engines, we wouldn't have needed their help to begin with. And what did you say? I reminded them that the only reason we needed their help was because their boys at Knapford were the ones who went on strike. After that, they belted right up. Nice one. I tell you what, it's great we don't need their help around here anymore. I'm with you, Diesel. I almost choked on the air of snobbery that accompanied them. I was one happy lady when they rolled out of here for the last time. I'm surprised to hear you say that, Lily. Why? I saw you chatting to Gordon on more than a few occasions, and you were always smiling around him. I couldn't help but notice a few grins on his part too. You lads wouldn't be jealous by any chance, would you? I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Well, I'm going to pretend that you did, and that you are. I find that wretchedly adorable. Or maybe just wretched, I don't know. Give it some thought, boys, and then let me know how you truly feel. Ta-ta! Caw! Sounds like the nor'easter's vanity rubbed off on her. As if we'd be jealous of that galloping blue sausage. I know. That'd mean we'd have to fancy her in the first place. Exactly. You don't, right? Did you really just ask me that? It was going to drive me balmy if I didn't. You bar me for asking in the first place. I know as you haven't answered yet. Fine. No, I don't. I regard Lily as a sister, nothing more. Oh, that's a relief. I was worried for a second. Now it's my turn to ask. I'll save you the effort. My answer's the same as yours. Good. So we won't have a problem then. No chance. Fellas before fillies any day. Too right. Oh, hello Lily. You look like you're in a good mood. I am. Mostly because I just turned the tables on an attempted insult by Adam and Diesel. Do tell. I could use a laugh to lift my spirits. Why? Is something wrong? I just heard an emergency broadcast over the radio. There have been massive pogroms against Jews in Germany and Austria. Goodness, that's a bad sign. I knew the Nazis were always harsh towards Jews, but this is something else. Agreed. If they're now resorting to violence, how much longer before they lash out at the rest of the world? You know what our biggest mistake of the last war was? Not razing Berlin to the ground. Hard to argue with that. As the days go by, it looks more and more like there'll be another war. Aye. I tell you what, if it doesn't happen, I'll paint myself blue. But enough doom and gloom. Tell me about your little comeback. Well, you see... Come on, Lily, get a move on. Oh, right. Sorry. I better dash. I'll tell you about it later. All right. Look forward to hearing about it. See you back at the sheds. Bye. Hi, Lily. How's your day been? Fine. Thank you, Colin. Yours? Pretty good. I heard you got Adam and Diesel earlier. You did? How? They didn't tell you, surely. No. One of the workers overheard your little chat, and he told me. You got them real good. They just make it so easy sometimes. Yes, they most certainly do. Oh, hi, Rich. How's it going? Better than ever. You could light up the docks with that smile. Why are you so happy, Rich? Because my wife is pregnant. Really? No wonder you're over the moon. Congratulations. This your first one? Oh yes. We're already thinking up names. I have the perfect one for a boy. Nigel. Nigel? That's right. I'm naming him after Mr. Zorro. And so I should. He gave me this job when I was down on my luck. I owe him everything. I'm sure he'll love that. All right, enough about this. Lily, I understand you'll be taking out the next train. That's right. Are you my guard? I am. I'm loving this run already. You know, I've just thought of the perfect name if our child was a girl. Thank you, Rich. I don't get it. Oh, Colin, really? What on earth is that? Why is Rich braking? Right, that's it. I'm stopping. Oh, goodness gracious. What's going on back there? Give us a tick, Lily, and we'll find out. Come on, Frank. I don't believe it. 4 sets of couplings completely destroyed. We won't be going any further tonight. Richard better have a good reason for throwing on the brakes like that. Come on, Ted. He always does. Where is he? I'll go look for him. Honestly, you want something done properly, never get a Welshman to... What? Oh, that's just tops. What's wrong, Ted? Our flipping brake van is gone. It must have broken loose somewhere down the line. Come on, we better go find it. As someone who's lost part of a train before, I can imagine just how frustrated Lily was as she backed down along the branch in search of her wayward brake van. What I can't imagine is the sheer confusion she must have felt when she didn't find it. Stopping at various signal boxes and stations, the staff therein swore up and down that they had seen her pass with the van still attached to her train. She even made it all the way back to Brendam without finding it. And after a thorough search was conducted, the mystery only deepened. But that's impossible! I'm sorry, Lily, but I don't know what to tell you. We've searched up and down the docks, and your brake van isn't here. How do you just lose a brake van? I didn't lose it, Diesel. It went missing. That's not much of a difference. Wait a moment. What? What was applying the brakes to your train if your van was gone? I don't know. You didn't have any non-faceless trucks on your train, did ya? No, I didn't. All right, that's a wee bit disconcerting. So's the fact that Rich is missing alongside the van. Oh, aye. I hope he's all right. So do I. Where is he? My, what a fantastic day we have here. What in blazes? Maybe I spoke too soon. Good grief! What is all this? And where did it come from? I don't know, but we'll have to tell the vicar. He's not gonna like this. Goodness! Who could have done this? Hoodlums with no respect and even less self-control. But to strike here? Children play in these fields. If they had any sense of decency, Vicar, they wouldn't have thought once about doing this. Don't worry, we'll use all our resources to find these scoundrels and bring them to justice. Sarge, come here, quick! Oh no. What is it? What's wrong? I'm sorry to say, Vicar, but we need your services. Good Lord! I'm sorry to say that the body found amidst the wreckage was that of the Middy's missing guard, Richard Peyton. Naturally, they were mortified and saddened when they heard about it, as were we and the rest of the island. I understand there was little solace to be had at the poor man's funeral. It's no wonder why. There were just too many questions surrounding his death. This mystery made it perfect fodder for the newspapers. The incident became a media sensation, its grim details reported and talked about endlessly in every part of the country. This coverage is undoubtedly the reason why Britain's top criminal investigative minds were tasked with solving the matter. But despite their best efforts, they wouldn't. To this day, the case remains open. Another enduring aspect of that incident is Rich's cause of death remains unknown. Did you lads hear the news? The coppers have called off the investigation. Hardly surprising. What else can they do when they're clueless? Come on, James. That's not a fair thing to say. I didn't mean that in a derogatory way, Thomas. I meant, what else can they do when they've exhausted every investigatory avenue? Blimey! Given the baffling nature of the entire crime, I doubt even Sherlock Holmes would have solved it. You do have a point, James. I mean, how does someone steal a brake van from a moving train, burn it, and then dump its remains in a field alongside its guard? All within the space of a single night, I might add. If you listen to some of the workers, they've got a lot of theories on the matter, and none of them are good. Like what? How about you lads wait until I'm gone before you discuss that? Gone? Where are you going? I have to deliver some coal to Brendam, if you can believe it. No, I don't. Why you? I volunteered for the job. Mr. Starr said it was a request from Mr. Zorro. A gesture to help the middies given their recent loss. For once, I don't mind doing them a favour. Good on you, mate. Yeah, good on you, James. Make sure you got plenty of bootlaces for the job. What? You know, Thomas, sometimes I really hate you. I know. I get no rest and no respect on this island. What in fizzling fireboxes? Now how did that happen? Take it easy, James, or you'll blow a piston. Well, excuse me for being a little put out after Charlie threw on the brakes like that. He would have had a good reason for doing so. We'll go check and... Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Andy? I don't know. Are you seeing... nothing? Yes? What are you two banging on about? The brake van's gone. Gone? You mean like... Oh no! Someone's coming! That someone was Peter, hauling behind him a very heavy goods train. From experience, I know how fast the Minis number 15 can move. As he came flying around the bend, I'm sorry to say that he didn't see the obstruction in his path until it was too late. Though he braked with all his might, it wasn't enough to avoid a catastrophe. Oh no! Peter! Peter! Are you alright? Bust my buffers. He's hurt bad. His crew can't be any better. We need to call for help, and fast. Let's rush down the branch and... James! Look! What? Dominic! It was him! It was his ghost! But... how? I don't know. But he was responsible for what happened to my train. I'm sure of it. What exactly happened, James? There was this horrific wailing, then the sound of breaking wood, groaning metal, and the snapping of couplings. And now my brake van's missing, alongside its guard. Just like what happened to me. Wherever your guard's gone, I hope he makes it back. So do I. He's getting married next month. I am pleased to say that James's guard, Charlie Green, would be found alive, but broken. Just like what happened to Lily, the charred remains of James's brake van were discovered in a field. Charlie himself was found roaming the grounds of the church across the street, where he had smashed out a few of its windows. Charlie was out of his mind, his sanity utterly destroyed by the ordeal he had undergone, the specifics of which would never be known, as Charlie would spend the rest of his life as a gibbering wreck in a mental institution. Peter also suffered harshly because of Dominic's presence and had to be sent to Crewe for repairs. Miraculously, his driver and fireman survived, albeit with serious injuries. After Mickey helped clear the line, James quickly returned to Knapford and told us of his encounter. Given our past experience, we all believed him, as did much of the island. Amazingly, even the police believed our number 5 when he provided a statement about the crash. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything they could do because, to quote the Chief Inspector, how can we arrest a ghost? A fair question, it was nonetheless frustrating, as it meant that once again we would have to devise a solution to this supernatural problem. Alright, Toby, your advice helped us get rid of the last ghost, so what have you got? I think we first need to find out why Dominic has only started to appear now. Maybe it's the anniversary of his death or something. I don't think so. Why not? It can't be a coincidence that he's showing up after my little accident on the hill. You mean with ducking the brake van? Aye, that's the one. Oh, nice. He comes to Sodor to help out and instead disturbs the spirit of a spiteful brake van. I'll be sure to thank the Great Western Git for that next time I see him. Don't start throwing blame, Diesel. It's not going to help. But you do raise a point about Dominic. Since he's actually lashing out at us, he's clearly more dangerous than Arthur was. All he really did was give us a good scare when you think about it. We're still left with the question of how to get rid of him. Maybe we can try reasoning with him. In a way, it did work last time. Reason with a ghost that's been attacking our trains? And what? Hope he doesn't turn us into flaming wrecks too? Do you have a better idea, Diesel? No? Then we may as well try it. Tonight, we'll head out in pairs and see if we can find Dominic. If you do, be as persuasive and calm as you can be. And do not try to provoke him. You don't need to tell us that, Toby. It's just not fair. Rich's child is going to have to grow up without him. And what happens when they're old enough to ask how their father died? What do you tell them? That he was murdered by a ghost? How can anyone be expected to handle that kind of truth? It's a dilemma, to be sure. One that I sadly can't answer. In a way, I hope we don't find Dominic. I don't trust myself not to say or do anything to that spiteful Spectre. Well then, I shall have to do my best to keep him safe from you. Thank you for listening, Gordon. Any time, my dear. Any time. I may hold you to that. All right, we better get moving. Douglas and James should be near the crossing at Wellsworth by now. I'm right behind you, my dear. Don't you fret. All right there, Redwood? No sign of Dominic, so I suppose. We just thought we'd take a moment, since this was where Peter crashed. Does anyone know how he's doing? Mr. Zorro went with him to Crewe. With any luck, we should learn something in a day or two. It shouldn't have happened. It simply shouldn't. Well, if we find Dominic... That's it! That's the sound I heard! But how do we know... Douglas! By all the saints! Dominic! It is you!
Yes, it is. And you killed me. I told you I was breaking apart. I asked you to stop. I begged you to stop. But no, you ignored my cries, and I paid the price for it. Now it's only fitting I return the favor. Now I will...
Oh, shut it, you spiteful sod! Douglas, what are you doing? Giving this prat what he deserves.
What I deserve? I didn't deserve to be smashed to kindling.
And if you had come straight to me and demanded an apology, I would have given you one without a second's pause. But no, you saw fit to terrorize my friends and murder innocent men. You're as spiteful as you are in death as you were in life, and I don't regret what I did to you.
For that, you can expect a whole new kind of misery.
So can you if you don't hie yourself back to hell. I promise, if you don't leave right now, I'll be happy to give you another thrashing. And if you think I can't touch you because you're a ghost, then don't move while I come charging at you. So what do you say? Leave and never return, or stay and risk another hiding?
Is that it?
I think so.
Well done, Douglas. Smashing good work.
Indeed. Ripping performance. That may have been the bravest thing I've ever seen. Likewise. I didn't know you had that in you, Douglas. Me neither. I guess you never really know what you're capable of. And I'm pleased to say that thanks to Douglas's gumption, we never saw Dominic's ghost again. However, for a while thereafter, we did hear him. Every so often, the spiteful Spectre would let out his haunting shriek, just to let us know he was still around. Eventually, that did stop. Perhaps because he decided it was no longer worth it, or perhaps because he finally moved on. I doubt we'll ever know. One thing that is known is the fallout from his spite. Peter suffered extensive damage from his crash, and the repairs would take months to complete. Since Mr. Zorro could ill afford to be without a dedicated goods engine, he was forced to turn to an unlikely source. But that is a story for another day.
Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. we will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
Indeed, we did beseech the word of Almighty God as Allied forces assaulted the beaches of Normandy. I can't imagine the ordeal those brave men must have gone through in securing a beachhead. But once they had, American and British forces began pouring into Europe. And not long after Paris was retaken, we were reassigned to the continent. As we did in Africa, we fought in a number of battles and supported the Allied invasion. And it would be during this time we would see for ourselves the true horror of the war. And, I'm very sorry to say, there would be atrocities committed by all sides. "1944 was something of a blur to those of us in the 110th Platoon as we bustled back and forth between the various positions, delivering troops, supplies, and weapons. Before we knew it, 1945 had come, and we welcomed it. By that time, the Battle of the Bulge had been fought. This last-ditch effort by the Germans to turn the tide of the war had failed. Now, they were well and truly facing defeat as Allied forces closed in on Berlin. But when I say Allied forces, I'm unfortunately referring to British and American troops exclusively. The reason why I make this distinction is because the progress of the Russians made it look like they would reach the German capital first, which caused no small amount of resentment among British and American commanders.
Tarnations!
Something wrong, Lieutenant?
Yes, Thompson, there is. Here we are counting crates of beans while the Ruskies are about to stomp all over Hitler's boudoir. Due respect, sir. What's the problem? The problem, Grady, is we're not the ones doing the stomping.
Isn't that for the best, sir? You know what they say, better dead than red.
How about better dead and red? You knuckleheads are right. Thanks for that. And I'm sorry.
What for, sir?
I shouldn't be complaining to you. You should be complaining to me. That's how the chain of command works.
We don't mind, sir.
Yeah, we'll take complaints over orders any day. Not today, you won't. Get back to work.
Yes, sir.
What do you two make of that?
I don't much like that better dead than red comment. I also don't much like the idea of allowing the Russians to take all the credit for cutting the head off the snake. Aye, it doesn't seem right. Not when we've lost just as much as they have.
Personally, I wouldn't mind if the Russians did take Berlin before we did.
Why?
I think it would be far simpler for one side to take it. Can you imagine what would happen if both the Russians and Americans entered the city at the same time? Neither would want to give it up to the other.
A divided Berlin. Sounds like a great idea if you ask me. A divided Germany would be even better. Then we wouldn't have to worry about them ever starting up a world war again.
Are you so sure that would work, Douglas?
I can't see how it would possibly hurt anyone. So you agree with me, Thomas? Too right. If we carved up Germany the last time, we wouldn't be here. And who is to say history would have played out any differently had such an act occurred? What are you talking about, Gordon? Let's take the Treaty of Versailles. It punished Germany severely for its role in the previous conflict, and Hitler was able to use it to devastating effect. And should Germany be partitioned in the wake of this war, who is to say that another firebrand agitator won't manipulate it to their advantage 20 years from now? I would have to agree with Gordon there. Maybe even Henry too, over what he said about Berlin. Is it really all that important who ends this war, so long as it does end? That's assuming the fighting stops with Berlin's capture. How do you mean? You've heard about this Manhattan Project the Yanks are working on. If you can believe the rumors, they're cooking up some new kind of weapon. And if the Russians do take Berlin first, odds are the Americans will suddenly have a fat, juicy target they can test it on. Splendid. We vanquished the Nazis only to begin anew with the Soviets. Will this ever end? If you mean war itself, Gordon, that's a question for another day. If you mean this one, I'd say it'll be over very soon. What do you mean, Edward? I was just briefed by General Hammond. Allied forces have crossed the Rhine River. They're now in Germany itself, and we're going with them. What? We're going to Germany? That we are, dear Lily. I've been assured we'll strictly be acting in a supporting role, but we can't make assumptions the Germans will go along with this. When do we leave? In 2 days' time. Into the lion's den. I don't know about the rest of you, but I welcome this. Aye, it'd be mighty grand taking the fight straight to the Nazis' doorstep. Who knows? Perhaps we'll be the first ones to enter Berlin. One can only hope. Maybe. I can't believe how easy this has been. Aye, though I'm not complaining. Not after the hell we went through in Africa. And I must say, these rails are certainly sturdy. Say what you will about the Germans, they know how to build things properly. Careful, Lily. You praise the Jerrys too much, you might find yourself on trial for treason. Perhaps I should belt up then. Never you fear, love. They'll have to ride over my rust-ridden corpse before I ever let anything happen to you. I knew there was a reason why I liked you, Douglas.
Oi, Thomas! Dougie! Your train's ready to go.
All right. Thanks, Adam. We better get a move on, Dougie. Aye, we better. See you later, Lily. Later, Thomas. Bye, Douglas. Love you. Love you too. What was that? It sounded like incoming!
Oh, son of a... Damn it! Fall back! Fall back!
Talk about being caught with our trousers down. How the hell were the Germans able to ambush us like that? I thought we had them on the run. The thing about running away, Henry, is one can always run back. You think intelligence would have been smart enough to keep a watch for such maneuvers? Military intelligence, Lily, is a contradiction in terms. That it is, old chap. Hi everyone. Oh, Peter, Adam, thank goodness you made it. Are you alright? Yes, we're fine. We managed to avoid the ambush and took the long way here. We also picked up a few survivors from other positions along the way. Where's Thomas and Douglas? We don't know. We haven't been able to reach them on the radio. We have to go look for them. Easy, Adam. Let's not go off half-cocked. Especially in light of the thrashing we received. What's the plan, Edward? A counterattack is being organized, but we'll need to wait for reinforcements. They won't arrive until tomorrow. So Thomas and Douglas have to spend an entire night behind enemy lines? Brilliant! God, I hope they make it. We all do, Lily. Crikey! If we go any further, we probably will reach Berlin. I've never puffed so fast and so hard for so long in all my life. Probably because you've never been in enemy territory before. Alas, you're right. And that's exactly where we are, isn't it? I haven't heard anything from the others over the radio. Have you? Hold that thought! Shit! What do we do? Hide, of course! Look! There's a factory up ahead! We might be safe there! How do we know it's not crawling with Germans? We don't! Come on! Bloody hell! That was close! Too right! And what luck! This place looks deserted. We should try raising the others on the radio now. Good idea. It'd be nice to know if they're alive or not. They would be, Dougie. Don't worry. I'm sure they're all right. I'm sure Lily is all right. God, I hope so. What was that? That sounds like a steam engine. Who's there? Are you Fat Controller's engines? Aye, I'm proud of it. Oh, thank goodness. I'm Oliver, and I'm with my brake van Toad. We've run out of coal and have no more steam. Oliver? Not Oliver from the Great Western Railway. Yeah, that's me. How'd you know? We're friends of Duck. You wouldn't be the engines of Sodor, would you? Aye, that's us. Looks like our luck hasn't entirely run out, Mr. Oliver. No, it hasn't, Toad. This is a godsend. Don't go getting excited just yet, laddie. We've still got to get the hell out of here. I think the best option is to wait here and keep trying to call the others on the radio. And if they don't reply, then come the morning, we make a break for it. Suits me. One way or another, we're getting back to our own lines. How's it coming, Henry?
We're almost ready. The last of the shells are being loaded now.
This is taking too long. We need to be out looking for Thomas and Douglas now. Take it easy, Lily. I want to find them just as badly as you, but if we have any hope of doing that, we need to go about it properly. Excellent advice, Edward. And I'm pleased to say we have found them. We have, General? How? Where? Aerial reconnaissance caught sight of them at a factory near Ostheim, and by an extraordinary stroke of luck, they were sighted in the company of one of our tapper engines. Tapper engines, sir? As in radio tapping, Henry. Mobile listening stations that are constantly monitoring enemy communications. The engine in question is a Great Western 1400 tank engine named Oliver. He and his brake van Toad were cut off in yesterday's ambush. So we know where they are. Are we going to go get them? Yes. Specifically, you three. The rest of your platoon will help support our attack on Heldenbergen. The assault should provide enough of a distraction for you to rescue them. You can count on us, sir. I know I can. Oh, there's one more thing you should know. The radio operator working with Oliver and Toad is an old friend of mine. One whom I believe you have a history with.
Who are you talking about, sir?
Blair! Hello, Thomas. It's been a long time. Not long enough. You two know each other? Unfortunately, yes. This tosspot caused all manner of trouble for me and my friends back on Sodor. Then, his disgraced partner sent one of us rolling down a hill and me into a bloody pond. I had nothing to do with that, Thomas. Burke's actions were his own. And as for the so-called trouble I caused, I was just doing my job. Like I'm doing here. Why are you here anyway? Oliver, Toad and I have been monitoring Nazi transmissions for several months now. Why you? I was a radio analyst during the First World War. I was recalled to that post when this one broke out. You can't be too good at that job, or you would have picked up word of yesterday's ambush. We've been tasked with tracking the Nazis' leadership. Lately, we've been chasing one of their more vile members. Who? Is that ours or theirs? Sounds like both. Let me jump on the radio and find out what's going on. If it is our crew, let's hope they're putting the Jerrys through hell. Damn it! Blaudo de Blau 4, are you informing in clear? Nekien Blaudo, Magia Fornen al Sinrad, Agrin Lolopal Alwal, Wedien Blau 4, Minan Araquan Yin Lobrau Alal, Copwich Blaudo, Pop Link. Well? Our lads have launched an attack on Heldenbergen. From the sound of it, the Germans are throwing in everything they've got to defend it. That doesn't sound good. No, but a gap has opened up in their lines. If we have any chance of getting out of here, we need to move now. I don't like the idea of making a break for it during a battle, but I hate the idea of staying here even more. Agreed! Let's go! Oh no! We've been spotted! There's nothing for it! Leg it! I must say, in all my years of service, I've never met anyone with quite so much resource and sagacity as you engines. We're just doing our job, sir. And I'm very grateful for that. And so is Toad. Thank you very much. I'm thankful too. I can see why Mr. Starr thought so highly of you all. May he rest in peace. Careful, Mr. Blair. I might actually start liking you. Well, we can't have that, can we? Nice to see you haven't lost your sense of humor, Tony. I try my best, George. Oh, that just reminded me. We may have found him. You have? Where? That's the frustrating part. He's at a facility called Bulbrick, but we don't know its exact location. Who are you talking about? Hitler? Of course not. That bastard is probably holed up in a concrete bunker in Berlin. I'm talking about Joseph Mengele. The Nazis' chief scientist? Chief sadist would be more accurate. We helped liberate a handful of concentration camps where he served. The stories the prisoners told were enough to churn my firebox. Indeed, Mr. Oliver. I remember one account told by a little girl over what that man did to her twin sister. Ugh, disgusting. So we know where he is, just not where he is. We could get back out in the field and keep searching. Oh, no you don't, Oliver. General Hammond, with all due respect, we have a duty to uphold. Here's an example to us all, chaps. But nonetheless, you have been through quite the ordeal. All four of you have. As such, you will be examined for any damage. Then, and only then, will you return to active duty. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Lucky you, Henry, getting to blow up a couple of Jerry Steamies. Aye, there was a strange sense of satisfaction in blowing them to hell. Big bastards they were too. Dare I say, they could give you a run for your money, Peter. If we ever come across one, I'd be willing to test that. Ah, you boys and your chest thumping. Crikey, look at this mess. Those Jerry shells certainly pack a wallop. Just be careful when sifting through this lot. You never know where you might come across an unexploded one. Clear out! Ouch! Damn safety valve! Oh dear God, no! It should go without saying, Lily's brave action that day got her killed. But her sacrifice did allow Henry to live, albeit not unscathed. Though the Middies number 2 bore the brunt of the blast, our number 3 still suffered damage. Too much for him to be repaired on the front line. He was shipped back to England, bringing word of Lily's passing with him. I'm afraid we weren't given much time to grieve, not after learning some very important information. Over 100 prisoners were taken during the Battle of Heldenbergen, one of whom just so happened to be a former guard at the elusive Bulbrick concentration camp. The guard gave us the facility's exact location. In a blitz-style attack, we swooped in on Bulbrick. Encountering minimal resistance, we quickly took the place. Unfortunately, Mengele wasn't there, but what we did find was no less horrific. Those poor souls. How can people do that to one another? Not people, Edward. Monsters. Too true, old chap. Does anyone else find this place a little odd? If by odd, you mean depressing. Not just that. Depression is a given with these places. What do you mean, then? Doesn't there appear to be an awful lot of track here? Now that you mention it, yes. If I were to hazard a guess as to why that is, I would say this place wasn't always a prison. Perhaps an industry of sorts. A sawmill, maybe. Why would they convert a sawmill into a concentration camp? I don't know, Adam. Why would they enact a policy that necessitated the need for such wretched places? All right. Let's settle down, chaps. This is an emotional time for all of us, but we need to stay focused. Gordon, once these people are on board your train, take them back to the 407 7th. Adam, head on over to the eastern side of the camp. There's that shed we haven't looked in yet. I'll join you shortly.
Right, yeah. Oh, God!
Adam? What's wrong? Adam? What is it? Dear God, man! What's the matter?
Gordon, there is no God. And if there is, he sure as hell isn't fucking good!
Taken aback by Adam's outburst, I then proceeded to make the biggest mistake of my life. I looked inside that damn shed. I'll spare you the gory details, but suffice to say the word abattoir would be a gross understatement. Subsequent interrogations of Bulbrecht staff revealed the facility did indeed used to be a sawmill. At Mengele's request, it was converted into a concentration camp. The Angel of Death then proceeded to conduct his grotesque experiments on the prisoners, making good use of its high-powered equipment. As much as I hate to say it, a morsel of good came out of that mission. Adam and I were deemed traumatized by what we saw. We and our entire platoon were rotated to rearguard duty, returning to our base at Ostend in Belgium. There, far removed from the front lines, we worked and tried to forget. But it wasn't easy. How are you holding up, Adam?
I'm getting there. I had my therapy session this morning, and my crew are over there now.
Is it helping?
Very much so. The important thing is I need to keep working. So what's this train you've brought in, Peter?
Just a transfer from the front line. Mostly empty trucks and a couple of tanks that need fixing. What's that coach doing at the rear? Oh, that. That coach is holding German POWs. Really? What's it doing here? It was accidentally attached to my train. By the time they realised this cock-up, it was practically here. It'll be going back tomorrow. Well, track 4 is clear. We'll be able to shunt this train later. Why not now? Because we got a ton of other trucks to move first.
I can handle Peter's train, Thomas, if you want to make a start on that lot.
You're going to run crewless?
No, of course not. They'll be back in about 10 minutes. We'll put this train away and be right over to assist.
Sounds like a plan. I can help out too once I refuel. That'd be great. Let's get to it. See you soon, Adam.
Right. See you soon.
What's his hurry? What's his hurry? That's just what I... What was that? It didn't sound good. Wait here. Adam! What the hell did you do?
The right thing, Douglas.
What happened? Adam just shunted a coach straight into the bloody sea.
It was full of German prisoners.
Wait, what? You drowned an entire coach full of POWs? What the hell is wrong with you?
Nothing. Those bastards deserve to die.
That wasn't your decision to make.
Can you honestly say what I did was wrong, Edward? I thought not. Son of a bitch.
I hate to say it, but fishing that coach out of the sea was an exercise in futility. Adam's actions caused a profound split among the platoon, our division mirroring that of societies. When news of this made the papers, there were an equal number of voices calling for Adam to be given a medal and to be charged with murder. Neither happened, as our superiors didn't want to incentivize killing prisoners, and, at the time, there were no laws that could charge a non-faceless vehicle with murder. And given who Adam had killed, the politicians weren't exactly in a rush to change that. Even though no charges were laid down, the army certainly didn't trust us after that. As such, our platoon was disbanded, and we returned to Sodor. We arrived to a hero's welcome, despite a rather ignoble end to our service. With the help of our friends, we managed to reacclimatize to civilian life and move on from the hardships of the Second World War, which ended in Europe on May 8, 1945, and on September 2nd of that year in the Pacific. The world was profoundly altered by that terrible conflict. Great changes had been made, and others were yet to come. But those are stories for another day. The winter of 1947 was a very interesting one. For reasons that have baffled me to this day, the island's various industries didn't close for the frosty season. Instead, they remained open and fully operational, ensuring we had a constant stream of stone, china clay, lumber, and coal to ship. And speaking of shipping, that too remained curiously consistent, so we were bombarded with endless numbers of goods trains. I won't lie, we felt incredibly overwhelmed by this unexpected workload. Fortunately, the Fat Controller arranged for Jeffrey to transfer in to assist us. His help certainly lightened the load, which did improve our collective mood. Also of great assistance to boosting our morale were the approach of Christmas and the imminent nationalization of the railways. This latter point was a source of heavy conversation among staff and engines, and I must say, opinion was strongly divided. You're not looking forward to it, Gordon? I am, Reginald. It's just, I'm going to miss being a nor'easter. After all, were it not for the LNER, I may never have been built. Likewise for you as a MIDI. I never thought of it that way. You're right, but our legacy will still endure on British railways. As a MIDI, that's very true. How do you mean? Come on, Reggie. It's no secret that most new engines to be built by BR will be based on LMS designs. You almost sound bitter about that, James. No, I'm not. I admit it makes sense. It's also no secret your group is the largest of the big four. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to the planned overhaul we're going to receive once nationalization kicks in. Indeed. Updating all engines to a single standard is sure to cut the cost of maintenance and the time we actually spend in the works. It'd also be great if they could cut down the time it takes to clear snowdrifts. I mean, we've been waiting for nearly an hour. What's the hold-up? Steady, James. Mickey is only one engine. Then why aren't Donald and Douglas helping?
They are. I happen to know for a fact they're working on clearing the tunnel as we speak.
They are? Oh dear.
What?
Is it still only the double-track side that's blocked? Is the single line still clear?
Last I heard, yes. Why?
Because Henry is scheduled to pass through there with a goods train.
Oh dear.
Exactly.
We got ourselves a real doozy here, Donny. Aye, anyone would think it was winter. At least we're making progress, and we don't have to worry about digging some silly sod out of it. Morning, lads. Speaking of silly sods, let me rephrase. Morning, Donald. Morning, Henry. How are things? Very good, thank you. Glad to see you're chipping away at that drift there. And we'd be making greater progress if we weren't being interrupted. So if you don't mind, and even if you do, shove off. Shh. You lads hear that? What? Sounds like a brake van being smashed. But that can't be, because Douglas is right here. Oh, you want to get personal, do you? At least the last brake van I smashed into didn't have anybody in it. You rotten good-for-nothing son of a... Oh, Lord save me. Those two were at each other's throats for near 20 minutes. If Mickey hadn't shown up, I reckon they'd still be going at it. You're not wrong, Donald. This ridiculous feud between those two has created a bad atmosphere about the railway. We need to do something. I don't know what. We on the main line have been trying to calm Henry down, and I know you lads on the branch line have been doing the same for Dougie, but it doesn't seem to be having any impact. You think we could get the fat controller to intercede? Maybe, but I don't know if we should. He is our controller, not our nanny. Perhaps being our controller means he'll have more of an influence over those two. Like I just said, we certainly haven't been able to change their minds.
It's certainly an idea, Donald. I'll have a word with Sir Topham when he gets back from London.
When's that going to be?
A couple of days.
I got a bad feeling something's going to happen between now and then.
Me too, old chap. Me too.
Jeffrey! 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 What the? Your train's ready. You're good to go. Oh, sorry, Toby. I must have dozed off. Thank you. What's the matter, Jeffrey? You look like you've seen a ghost. Maybe I did, Percy. I dreamt about Alfred. Oh, I see. What happened? Nothing, really. He just appeared and gave me a rather stern look. Well, let's hope he stays in the realm of dreams. I'm in no mood for dealing with the supernatural this year. Yes, quite. I don't fancy a run-in with anyone's ghost. Certainly not his. Jeffrey, can I ask you something? What was the history between the two of us? Yes, you never actually said why he hated you. It's a rather shameful story. You want to talk about it? Not really, but I will. It was back during my hoodlum days when I was sabotaging the competition in some misguided sense of company loyalty. One such incident was in London itself. I had gotten wind that the nor'easters were to take a special passenger train comprised of important dignitaries, which included the Duke and Duchess of Boxford. Alfred was assigned to take it. Long story short, I arranged for a goods train to derail near the nor'easter sheds, trapping them inside. It was my hope either I or a fellow middy would be called upon as a replacement.
Unfortunately for me, the plan backfired, as Spencer happened to be outside the shed at the time. He ended up taking the train, and afterwards, the Duke and Duchess expressed an interest in buying Spencer once his working career is done. Alfred was furious at missing out on this opportunity, even more so when he found out I was responsible for that. How did he find out? I told him. After serving my sentence in Railgate, I set about making amends with everyone I had wronged. Amazingly, they all forgave me. With one exception. He kept on hating me. I truly believe the only time he stopped was when he rushed that bomb out of the harbor back during the war. Do you wish he had forgiven you? I do. But there's not much hope in that happening now. Never say never, Jeffrey. Especially on this island. I'll keep that in mind. I'd best get going. Thank you for listening, chaps. No worries, Jeffrey. Safe travels. How very odd. And those trees. Most peculiar. Oh my goodness! Bust my buffers! That was close! Blimey! Look at the size of that snowdrift! It must have slid down from the hill! And recently, the snow looks freshly churned. We better rush back to Crosby and raise the alarm. Yes, quite. This is going to cause problems. Over my dead body? That can be arranged, but until then, you don't have a choice. Mickey's asked for my help in clearing the drift. Has he gone soft in the boiler? You're more likely to get stuck in the stuff than move it. I don't really care what you have to say about this subject or any other. I'm going whether you like it or not, and you can use the coal chute after I'm done. Fine. Just make sure they don't give me that Welsh rubbish you need. What did Lily ever see in you? What did you say? I said, what did Lily ever see in you? You bastard! Ow! What in blazes? Are you out of your bloody mind, Douglas? You got personal for the last time, Henry. You clueless Caledonian. Look what you've done. You put me out of action. Now I won't be able to help clear the snow. If anything, I've sped it up by knocking you out. Oh, and how do you plan on helping? Oh, damn it. And you called me a silly sod. Thanks for your help, Peckett. You lads are just lucky it was a quiet day in the yard, and I would have preferred it had remained that way. You can blame old Square Wheels here that it wasn't. You're the one who knocked me off the rails, you daft git. Bust my buffers. I almost feel sorry for you two. Why? Good evening, engines. Oh, Sir Topham. I didn't know you were back. If you had known, would it have changed what happened? That depends on whether Henry would have kept his trap shut or not. Why don't you shut yours for a change? All right, enough.
We are going to discuss this little predicament, and we are going to stay here until it is resolved. Peggett, excuse us, please.
Yes, sir. Have fun, lads.
Sir, if I may say, no, Henry, you may not. I will speak first. Let me just say how terribly disappointed I am in you two. I expect my engines to display some measure of professionalism and common sense. However, I am not entirely blameless for what happened. Sir, I've been aware of the tension between you two since returning to Sodor. Rather than address it right then and there, I let your animosity fester. It was inevitable it was going to lead to some form of unpleasantness. I'm just thankful and amazed it didn't end in any serious damage or injuries. I apologize for not making you address your issues sooner. Now, which of you wants to be the first to apologize to the other? I see. Sir Topham, I have nothing to apologize for. Even after making an incredibly thoughtless comment to Douglas? Too right! How dare you bring Lily into this? Don't think you're completely blameless, Douglas. No matter what Henry said, that didn't give you the right to bump him off the rails. With all due respect, sir, I'll have a go at anyone who mocks the woman I loved. And do you think she'd be proud of you for your actions today? I guess not, sir. But all the same, Douglas, why do you blame me for her death? She was killed by an enemy shell. A shell that went off near you after your safety valve burst. She died saving you. Aye, she died saving me. That was the act of a hero. Why can't you be proud of her for that? I am. Then what's your problem? My problem is being a hero got her killed. Why'd she do that? And for you of all engines. Wait a minute. Are you jealous? Douglas, there was nothing between us. And it wouldn't have mattered who the engine was. Me, Thomas, Gordon, Peter. She'd have rushed into the path of the explosion for any one of us. And you'd have done the same for her had the situation been different. You're right. I would have. Oh, God. Henry, I'm so sorry. So am I. And we're both sorry for any problems this causes you, Sir Topham. Well, I was obliged to inform the authorities. This incident will go on your records. I was able to dissuade the Railway Inspector's Unit from filing charges and allow me to discipline you. Which I will. The both of you will be working double shifts until New Year. Starting right now. The line has been cleared and we need to work through the backlog caused by this delay. See to it at once. Yes, sir. And for the rest of the night and into the morning, Douglas and Henry worked to clear through the many trains that had backed up. Donald and I were the first to find out they had reconciled, and we were expectantly happy for that. However, the others didn't know this at the time. You see, the day before, while the line was being cleared of snow, they'd held a meeting to discuss the situation. They too decided to talk to the Fat Controller about it. Or, to be more accurate, they proposed Percy be their deputation. I wasn't there when our number 6 spoke with Sir Topham, but by his own account, it didn't go well. A desperation? Did you seriously say that? What did you expect? I was nervous. It didn't help that I was shanghaied into the job. You did manage to get the point across, I hope. I did. I told the Fat Controller our feelings on the matter, and he said he's already dealt with it. What? He spoke to Henry and Douglas last night. Apparently, they've made amends. Just like that? Just like that. It might have helped if we'd known that sooner. This is why they should have let us keep our radios after the war. Indeed. It certainly would make communications easier, but they were military property, and the point has been made it is best to keep radio chatter to a minimum. You never know who may be listening. Yes, quite. The Russians have eyes everywhere, and ears everywhere else. Phew, wretched commies. We should have knocked them out after the Nazis. Let's save politics for another time, lads. For now, I would like to get some sleep. Capital idea, Toby. Good night, everyone. Good night, Gordon. What the? How did I get here? Where is everyone? Why is the yard so empty? What's that? Who's there? If this is a prank, I'm not laughing. Show yourself now. Hello, Jeffrey. Fizzling fireboxes. Alfred? No. This is a dream. You're not real. You're not. Calm down, Jeffrey. I'm not going to hurt you. If I wanted that, I wouldn't have warned you about the snowdrift. Warned me? That was you? I don't know what to say. Actually, I do. You could have been less cryptic. Sorry. Death, like life, is complicated. And I'm also sorry for harboring the grudge I did. You're sorry? Yes. Jeffrey, I forgive you. You're not the same engine you were all those years ago. I wish I had realized that in life. But better late than never, I suppose. Yes, quite. Thank you. And again, I'm sorry for that awful trick I pulled. Apology accepted. Well, I better go. Before I leave, tell the others Colin, Lily, and Mr. Starr say hello. I will. But Alfred, where are you? For that matter, where are we? I don't know. As I said, death is complicated, but it's very peaceful here. Goodbye, Jeffrey. Merry Christmas, my friend. Merry Christmas to you too. Morning, Jeffrey. You sleep well? Indeed I did, Toby. And Percy, you were right. About what? About never saying never. Jeffrey told the others about his dream, which soon spread to the rest of us. Given our past experiences, none of us had any doubt it was real. It also gave us a profound sense of closure, knowing our fallen friends were happy, wherever they were. I'm pleased to say that happiness endured. Christmas arrived and it was wonderful. This was followed by a great jubilee to commemorate the years of service offered by the disparate railways. And come January 1st, 1948, nationalisation took effect. The days of the Big Four had ended. The days of British Railways were about to begin. Several months had passed since the mid-Sodor engines arrived on the Skarloey Railway, and as I said last time, they adapted to their new home splendidly, giving the SKR a boost to its performance. However, I did gloss over the reality of the situation leading up to this relocation. I made it seem like the SKR bought the MSR chaps and all was well. But like anything business related, it's never that simple. After leaving his engines that night, Sir Handel attended a meeting with several bank executives. The MSR had taken out a sizable loan to stay afloat, and now it needed to be repaid. An easy way this debt could have been erased would have been if Sir Handel sold his engines. The MSR's owner was extremely reluctant to do this and told the executives he would have to think about it. The next day, a miracle happened. Sir Handel's longtime friend and owner of the Skarloey Railway, Mr. Peter Sam, said he was in need of some extra engines and rolling stock to support his growing company. So, he bought all of the MSR's locomotives as well as several trucks and coaches. Sir Handel was able to use this money to pay off the debt. Once this was done, the relocation effort began. It took a long time for this to be completed, as transporting any number of railway assets of any size requires a lot of planning and care. During this period, Wilbert returned to Sodor. He spoke to several of the MSR's engines and even brainstormed a few story ideas with them, several of which the good Reverend would publish many years later, though it should go without saying they were all purely fictional. It wasn't until June of 1955 that the entire MSR fleet was finally transferred. Jump ahead to late November of that year, and this is where our story starts. No wonder you lads were experiencing such rapid growth. How long has the lucky lamp been knocking about here? I don't know. I hadn't seen it until today. I swear we didn't pinch it. I didn't think you had. But it's a good thing it is here. If it hadn't been, who knows where we may have ended up. I have to ask Stuart, would you have let yourself be sold had Mr. Sam not bought you and the others? I haven't actually thought about that.
Maybe. If it helped pay off Sir Handel's debt, I think I would have owed that to him. I'm just glad we have the right to choose. For now. What do you mean? There have been rumours going around Parliament might be about to revoke our rights. What on earth for? The same old argument that we're simply machines and all that bollocks. What rubbish! Who are these people and why does anyone pay them any attention? At any rate, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Since Attlee's resigned as leader of the Labour Party, they'll be too busy with that to worry about us. You're right. Labour will be scrounging to find a replacement, and the Conservatives will exploit this leadership clash to no end. I wonder how many policies will be allowed to lapse during this time. Sir Handel had an old saying about politicians. They have only two priorities, staying in office and bad-mouthing the opposition. How very true. I must be seeing things. Me too. Snow? I can't remember the last time it fell this early. I don't think it ever has. I can already hear Duncan's whinging. All things considered, the SKR's number 6 would have been right to complain. As I've mentioned numerous times in the past, winter is not a particularly welcome time of year due to the many problems it brings. This year was especially difficult. Not only did the season bring with it the usual ice and snow, but also a very thick and very persistent fog. And being on an island meant very few places on Sodor were free from it. During the day it was bad enough, but at night it was terrible. More than a few trains had to be cancelled, and the ones that did run were absurdly slow, as we obviously had to curtail our speed due to the poor visibility. Making things that much more awkward was 1955 marked the 18th anniversary since Arthur's ghost vanished. And long periods of fog have a way of conjuring up old stories and legends. And every year around the time of the accident, it stalked the lines of Sodor, plunging into the night, shrieking like a lost soul. Are you having us on, Henry? A wee bit. Yes, very amusing, Henry. But in all seriousness, what was the ghost like? I don't know. I never actually saw it. My impression has been the engine itself wasn't really terrifying, just unsettling. It certainly didn't help that some poor dear lost her mind after looking inside one of its coaches. Any idea what she saw? None. There have been all sorts of theories, ranging from the ghosts of the deceased passengers to demons and other more grotesque possibilities. That's very disturbing. And Mr. Zorro got rid of it? Aye, with a polite chat if you can believe it. No rituals, no exorcisms. He told the ghost he could go, and off he went. How very obliging. Is it rather morbid of me to say I wish I had seen the Spectre up close? A little bit. But I get where you're coming from, Geoffrey. I wouldn't have mind taking a gander just to know. What's so funny? I just remembered what happened the day after the ghost disappeared. We were at the shed and James asked what it looked like. Lily said it kind of resembled Thomas, to which he said, "You mean it was wickedly handsome?" That's what I like most about Thomas, his unrelenting sense of humour. Careful not to say that when Kate is around, Samantha. I hear she's the jealous type. Well, it's been great chatting with you two, but I have to go. The flying kipper's not going to take itself. Night, Henry. Have a safe run. Shunted? Why on earth have we been shunted? The signalman said it was to allow another train to pass. Did he say what it was? No, only that it was the only other one scheduled to run through this way. Once it's passed, we can go. Bother. We were making such good time too. Is it just me, or does something always seem to happen every time we take the kipper? You hear that? Must be the train. Sounds rather small. Maybe it's one of the Farquhar boys running solo. Or not. Who was that? I don't know. I can barely see your boiler through this fog. Well, it looked like a tank engine pulling a brake van, but I didn't see any numbers, or even a face. That's odd. Come on then, we should be clear to go. We'll ask about that engine when we reach Barrow. Very strange. Very, very strange. Are you sure it was faceless, Henry? To be honest, no. I couldn't see much of it, but I'm pretty sure it was black. Well, nothing like that came through here. What did they say at Barrow? Nothing. They said no trains had gone out that night because of the fog. Now that I think about it, it's amazing I was allowed to take the Kipper at all. It was an important delivery, Henry, which makes me realize the train you saw must have had a higher priority. A single tank engine hauling a brake van? I would say that's unlikely, but since it happened, clearly not. Somehow I get the feeling we're in for an unusual winter. All I'm saying is Britain should pay attention to what's going on in South Vietnam. Why? It's no concern of ours. If it's the result of communist insurgency, I beg to differ. Even if you're right, our involvement isn't going to make things any better. I refer you to Korea as proof. Can you please focus, James? Don't panic, Andrew. Even in this fog, I know these rails like the back of my buffers. What in fizzling fireboxes? What are we doing in a siding? Maybe the points were frozen. That'd be right. Just once, I'd like to be able to take a train. That noise. Might be the wind. No. I've heard that before. Oh no. Please don't be. What's that? Did I just hear a train go by? If these flipping trucks weren't in the way, I might have seen it. I caught a glimpse of it. What did it look like, Colleen? A black tank engine pulling a brake van. Isn't that what Henry saw? Sure sounds like it. Just like the noise I heard sounded a lot like Dominic when he was lurking about. You think he's come back? Why? I don't know, but we should be careful. If that spiteful sod wants to torment us, he's got another thing coming. Oh dear. So now we've had 2 sightings. Yes, sir. Not exactly what the ministry was hoping for, but exactly what you and I said would happen. Perhaps we should consider telling the others what's going on. Would that we could, Edward, but we can't. I know this operation is predicated on secrecy, Sir Topham, but the minister has to know if there are any more sightings, the word covert isn't going to mean much. Ministers have a knack for remaining ignorant, even in the face of overwhelming facts. Do we just let this play out, sir? No choice. I'll do my best to alter the schedules to minimize sightings. With any luck, we should be able to keep this situation from escalating. I dare say the lucky lamp has got its work cut out this time. Well, look what we've got here. Hello, Ducky. Don't call me Ducky, Diesel. Sorry, Ducky. What are you doing here? Delivering a special train to Sodor. I have to take this lot to Wellsworth. What's so special about it? Is it holding eggs you've laid? I'll never forgive myself for what I'm about to say next. Diesel, I need your help. Are you done? Wait, you serious? Yes, I need your help getting to Wellsworth. What for? You've been there before. Not for a long time, Diesel. And I know Vickerstown has gotten an overhaul, and in this fog, having a guide would be really useful. I thought the Great Western Way meant you didn't need help. The Great Western Way is all about knowing when to ask for help. Okay, Ducky, I'll help you out, but you have to do something for me. What sort of something? I don't know yet. Let's just say you owe me a favor. What? Forget it. I'd rather owe a favor to Stalin than you. Suit yourself. No skin off my nose. Have fun hanging out in the fog. You weasel! I love being me. What's that? It looked like fisting fuses. It's back! What are you doing back here? Ah! Duck! What's the matter with you? You sound like you're going through puberty. Don't be ridiculous, Duck. Me? You're the one who just flew in here like he's seen a ghost. Maybe I did. What? You know what? It doesn't matter. I have to get this train to Sodor, and I need to get it there tonight. So fine. Take me there, and I'll owe you a favor. No, Duck. Don't worry about that. I'd be happy to escort you to Wellsworth. You would? Of course, my friend. We're British Railways now. We have to help each other out. All right. I don't know who you are or what you've done with Diesel, but I'll take your offer. In fact, I've just thought of a way I can repay the favor. How? I won't tell the others you squealed like a little girl just now. Grrr. Fine. Now that's what I call the Great Western Way. Face it, Percy, we're lost. How can that be? Because we don't know where we are. Thomas, it's not like we took the wrong road. We can only go where the lines take us. And since we just crossed a river down from a bridge, I say we're on the loop. Which we shouldn't be. We're supposed to be travelling along the main line. Maybe the signalman made a mistake. Or maybe there was something wrong with the points. Whatever the reason, I don't see this as a problem. I reckon we're about 500 yards away from Mongrel McColl's old farm. If we find that, we'll get our bearings. I'm just not keen about travelling down a line we aren't meant to be on in the dead of night in a thick fog. How do we know another train isn't meant to be coming down the other way? Good point. Maybe we should go ahead and check. Sounds like a plan. Let's go. Thomas, what do you make of this rumour that Arthur's ghost has come back? I might believe it if Diesel hadn't been the one to say that. Yeah, he's not really trustworthy, but why would he lie about something like that? Search me. He's done some pretty sick things in the past. I wouldn't put anything by him. Alright, I believe him! Fizzling fireboxes! What's going on? Why's the ground on fire? It looks like... Thomas, you don't think that's hell, do you? I don't want to find out! Scarpa! Of course. After being terrorized by ghosts, why wouldn't the devil come swanning in? What do we do? Repent by the sound of it. There isn't enough time in the universe for you to do that, Diesel. Shut your gob, Thomas. All right, chaps, settle down. No need to go into a tizzy. Edward, there is plenty of cause to go into a tizzy. Arthur's flipping ghost is back, and the gates of hell might be about to open up. No, James, they're not. And the engine you've all seen isn't Arthur's ghost. How do you know? Because I was at Fort Sudrian the day it arrived. The engine is very real, and it's taking part in a Ministry of Defense trial called Operation White Fleet. Which is what exactly? I don't know. The specifics are classified. Both Sir Topham and I were sworn to secrecy, which is why we couldn't tell you sooner. The only reason I'm allowed to discuss it now is because the project failed. How so? The engine broke down last night. They had to dump its fire, which is what you two saw. Burning coals steaming in the snow. What about the sounds I heard at Marin? I can't explain that, old chap, but since no one has spotted Dominic skulking about, I would have to say it was the wind. Why'd they conduct the trial here? They wanted to take advantage of this fog. They figured it would provide good cover. But since you lot saw it, obviously not. I don't believe it. You mean I embarrassed myself in front of Duck because the government wanted to test its new toy? How'd you embarrass yourself, Diesel? What? Forget I said anything. Come on, Diesel. Out with it. No. You know what? We don't need him. We can just ask Duck the next time he pops by. Don't you dare. The chaps had a lot of fun ripping into Diesel as they tried to get him to talk. I was grateful for this as it distracted from my worrisome expression. While everything I had said was true, I have to admit it was true as far as I knew. The explanation you just heard is what Sir Topham and myself were told by the Minister of Defence himself the day the engine arrived at Fort Sudrian. We were instructed to perpetuate this obvious cover story if the need arose. That same day, I was questioned by some people. They didn't say who they were or where they were from. They just asked me a lot of questions about Sodor's supernatural history. I told them about the various ghosts as well as the lucky lamp. They thanked me and left. I never saw them again, but the organization they represented would indeed have a part to play in Sodor's future. But I'll save that for the appropriate time. I'm pleased to say the fog lifted a few days later and life returned to normal. Christmas came and went and the new year was fast approaching. Britain's railways had experienced some incredible changes this past decade and more were yet to come. Some more revolutionary than others. But those are stories for another day. For the longest time, I had always been skeptical of the phrase, "there's no such thing as bad publicity." Then disaster struck the Skarloey Railway, and I saw firsthand how true this was. News of Andreas' death made the headlines, and the SKR was swamped by visitors, many of whom offered their condolences to the engines. I'm pleased to say the immense outpouring of support helped them work through their grief. Moreover, the ongoing expansion throughout the Nartwin Valley kept the chaps busy. On that note, they continued to make very good progress over the following months. Even the onset of winter did little to slow them down. That's not to say it was smooth sailing the entire time, or that mistakes weren't made. Fancy not securing your trucks on a hill. I'm appalled at you, Stuart. I never thought you of all engines could be so careless. I'm sorry, sir. I have no excuse. No, you do not. If I didn't need every single engine available, I'd have you shunt trucks in the yard until I could trust you again. Excuse me, sir, but I'm just as much to blame. I did bank Stuart up that hill, and if I'm not mistaken, you were late to your next job because of it. You are not a brake van, Rusty. For that matter, why didn't you have one? I did, sir, but the coupling broke. We didn't know how close a replacement was, so I decided to chance it. You should have gotten a replacement. I would have understood the delay. Instead, you cost us an entire train and its cargo. I don't know what to say, sir. What can I do to make this right? Just carry on with your regular duties, and please be more careful. Now, turning to your situation, Skarloey. It's all right, Sir Handel. I'm fine. You didn't sound fine as you limped into the station. We can't risk you breaking down, so I'm taking you out of rotation until you've had a full service. The trick is, how am I going to cover your duties? I can cover them, sir. Are you sure? Yes, sir. No problem. What's the first job? A passenger train to Sodor. Perfect. I'm taking a goods train there. I can couple the trucks up behind the coaches and take them in a single trip. Well, if you're absolutely certain, Duncan, go ahead. And thank you. My pleasure, sir. Happy to help. Something wrong, lads? Don't get me wrong, Duncan. I appreciate you covering my jobs, but please don't overdo it. You practically pushed me all the way from Krosny Kern. Pah, all I did was give you a nudge. You did plenty of the work. You always do. Anyway, I best get going. Don't want to keep the passengers waiting. Scarloey? Yes, sir? Have you ever known Duncan to be so agreeable, polite, considerate, kind? No, sir. Never. It's almost frightening. So was my cock-up. You made a mistake, Stuart, but at least nobody got hurt. Maybe not. What do you mean? Of course I chased after the trucks after they broke away. By the time I reached the bridge, they'd already gone over. As I was crossing, I heard what sounded like a roar. And when I looked down into the ravine, I could have sworn I saw something walk away from the crash site. What sort of something? I couldn't tell. Maybe a bear? Whatever it was, I'm terrified to think some poor animal got hurt. If it was able to walk away, it couldn't have been too badly injured, if at all. And besides, most animals will be hibernating this time of year. Then what did I see? What happened to him? Let me put it this way. They found his head 6 feet away from his body. Good grief. What could have done that? There were clumps of fur around the site, so maybe a bear? A bear? Hold on, Rusty. I know what you're thinking. This can't be because of what happened with Stuart. Are you so sure, Duke? I've never been a fan of coincidences. Because they don't exist. Oh, hello, Jack. What brings you here? 'Tis the season, Reneus. Fog's more common this time of year. Sir Handel's asked me to do some work around your line. Well, I can't think of a better man for the job. Oh, have you met Rusty by any chance? Can't say I have. Hello, Rusty. Hello, Mr. Bailey. Nice to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you. Funny how relics are always so well known. And don't call me Mister. It's Jack. All right. So, Jack, you don't believe in coincidences? No, and I'll tell you why. You heard about the owl that hoots every time Mr. Fogg is about to roll in? Yes. It's never been wrong. That can't be coincidence. You have a point, but I find it hard to believe a wild animal would carry out such a precise attack. Regardless of what did it or why, it poses a serious threat. A group of hunters have already been organized to track it down. I heard, and I have very mixed feelings about that. Me too, but I'd rather do my job knowing I won't be mauled to death. I'll give you a mauling if you don't bug off. What was that? This area is for railway workers only. I'm a railway fogman, son. Well, you're in the way. Shove off, Grandad. Say that again. What? Say that again. Can you please just move? I'll do you one better. I've got some time to kill, so I'll give you a hand. That'd be great. If you could start with those boxes? Sure thing. See you later, lads. Nice meeting you, Rusty. Yeah, you too. Bust my buffers. I thought for sure he was going to deck that prat. He would have if he called him Grandad again. You don't disrespect Old Bailey. Why do they call him Old Bailey anyway? Because he's been around forever. They were calling him Old Bailey back when I was an impertinent scallywag. You were built, old Grandpuff. You impertinent scallywag. I don't like this. This what? Being out in the dead of night with a dangerous animal on the loose. Oh, come off it. We're not talking about a rampaging rhino here. I'm sure you can survive a bear. I'd also survive getting hit by a bullet. That doesn't mean I want to get shot. You've got to be kidding. That sounded close. Let's check it out. I thought the idea was to run away from gunfire. What happened? We'd been following it all day, but each time we closed in, it gave us the slip. We thought we finally had it. Then, all of a sudden, it came out of nowhere. I think it led us into a trap. How can a bear? That was no bloody bear. It was 3 heads taller than me and just as wide. It walked on 2 legs and was covered in dark fur. It had a face like an ape, with fangs jutting from its lower jaw. Looked like something straight out of hell. And it got my mates.
All right. I've called the police and they're on their way. In the meantime, let's go wait in my office. Don't worry, we'll do all we can to help find your friends.
If they're even alive. Tall, hairy, fangs, walks on 2 legs. Doesn't that sound like Rheneas? There has never once been a nartwin-related attack. The poor lad is probably confused. So confused he conflated a bear with a creature out of folklore. It's possible, Rheneas. I once had a soldier climb onto the roof of my cab because he thought he was being chased by a horde of screaming mice. Trauma can wreak havoc with the mind. Trauma or not, it sounds like his party ran afoul of something. I have a sinking feeling this is going to get worse before it gets better. And unfortunately, he was right. The police, in conjunction with the SKR, set off the following morning with a search party. They found the missing hunters, or what was left of them. Of course, it was impossible to keep the details of such a slaughter under wraps, likewise of the survivors' testimony. This created a lot of fear. To keep the situation from getting out of control, the army was called in. All throughout the valley and surrounding communities, checkpoints and roaming patrols were established alongside a curfew. There were those who balked at this state of near martial law, which led to a few clashes and a few arrests. He didn't. He did. Clocked him right in the jaw. Took 3 troopers to hold him back, but he kept on fighting. I heard old Bailey was a hard man, but fizzling fuses.
It's also absurd bringing in soldiers to catch a wild animal.
This is a little more than a wild animal, Duncan.
Sorry, I worded that wrong. It's just, using force to break up protests always rubs me the wrong way.
Why's that?
I don't mean to be rude, Rusty, but I'd rather not get into it. What am I saying? It's a bit late for that. I'm sorry I was rude to you when you first arrived, and thank you for your help when I derailed back in the gorge.
Don't mention it. It's what I'm here for.
And I'm very glad of it. I might avail myself of your expertise right now. I'm heading into the valley soon to collect the little kipper. Have you got any words of caution or advice?
No, except be careful.
That'll do nicely. I'll see you later. Bye.
Bust my buffers, I am completely at a loss. It's like someone flipped a switch. Have you noticed he's been this way since Andreas died? How did Stanley put it? Trauma can wreak havoc with the mind. And what he said just now about protests being broken up. Has anything like that ever happened around here before? No, never. Maybe he was talking about his old railway. Where was that? I don't know. He never told us. We tried asking, but he always told us to bug off. And Mr. Sam was always cagey about where he got him from. Since he's so much more agreeable, maybe we can ask him now. Maybe. We'll do it tonight. What do you mean missing? Exactly that. He never came back. They phoned Polwich and they said he left. Nobody's seen him since. That's impossible. An engine doesn't just disappear along with its train, unless they've run afoul of something. You don't think, bust my buffers, we need to do something. I say we go look for him. Now wait a moment. What's there to wait for? One of us is out there. Right, out there with a killer monster on the loose. You really want to go searching for one and risk bumping into the other? If that happens and it's prepared to throw hands, I'll be happy to oblige. Rheneas, I'm sorry, Scar Louis, but I'm tired of living in fear. Whatever's out there, it's time we showed it who's in charge. That would be Sir Handel, and he'd go balmy if we did this. Well, I haven't seen him for hours, and since he isn't here to stop us from going, I say we're in the clear. You can count me in, and I can't let you two have all the fun. Are you going to be all right? I'll manage. Are you coming, Ivo? All right. But what do we do about the army? They're bound to turn us away at the first checkpoint. What are they going to do? Arrest us? Come on. Where are they? Maybe this thing got them too. I don't see any blood or bodies. Very strange soldiers would leave their posts. Who cares where they are as long as it's not here? At least we won't have to worry about them. Agreed. I suggest we split up. You two take the left line, Ivo and I will head right. Yes, splitting up, that always ends so well. Oh, shut up, Ivo. Come on, Rusty, let's go. Ah! Skarloey, what's wrong? I've got a cramp. Bollocks, this hurts. Are you alright? Can you move? Yes and no. Not on my own. Looks like I won't be much use here. Ivo, you'll have to tow me back to Croven's Gate. Gladly. We'll keep going. We've come this far, so we may as well. All right, but for the love of God, please be careful. Fizzling fireboxes, what is going on out there? The more immediate question is, what is going on here? What's all this about you four gallivanting about the valley in the middle of the night? Are you moonlighting as park rangers? No, sir. We went looking for Duncan. Duncan? He's missing, sir. He hasn't been seen since yesterday. Wait, you didn't get my message? Message, sir? Oh, I am so sorry. There must have been a breakdown in communication. Duncan's all right, relatively speaking. He had an accident in the valley. He collided with a lorry. His condition was too severe to risk bringing him back by rail, so they loaded him onto a flatbed. Are you saying he's been at the works the whole time, sir? Yes. I'm guessing nobody noticed him arriving by road? Very strange and frustrating. Well, where have you been, sir? You've been gone almost as long as Duncan. The lorry he collided with belonged to the army. I've been trying to wrangle details of the crash out of them ever since. What have they said? That their lorry broke down at a crossing, and Duncan, who was apparently speeding, ran into it. I call rubbish on that, sir. I would too. But Duncan does have a history of recklessly riding the rails. He may have turned over a new leaf in recent times, but one is always defined by their past. What's going to happen, sir? Well, I'm not banking on receiving compensation from the army, which wouldn't be the end of the world. The influx of customers we had before this crisis has shored up our finances, so we can comfortably afford Duncan's repairs, but those will take a while. Is he in that bad of a state? Indeed. He's looking at a complete overhaul. Did you four really go looking for him? Yes, sir, and we found more than we bargained for. How so? The details of that night spread rapidly across the island. The area where it happened was searched the next day, and absolutely nothing was found. Nobody was able to ask Old Bailey about it, as he disappeared for a good while. When he finally did resurface, he denied being there, citing the curfew as reason why he couldn't have been. Without corroboration, Rusty and Renese's recount was largely ignored, especially after the army announced they had eliminated the threat. Turns out it had been a bear the entire time. A female bear. It seemed Stewart's trucks had landed on her cubs, causing the enraged mother to go on a rampage. The hunter's testimony was also discredited after it came to light he had a drinking problem. There were skeptics to this explanation, but they too were ignored. Everyone just wanted life to get back to normal and were happy to accept what they had been told. As for Duncan, he had a long road to recovery. In a strange turn, neither he nor his crew could remember the accident. Since there were no witnesses save the soldiers allegedly involved, and coupled with his spotty record, the investigation ruled the SKR's number 6 must have been speeding. Therefore, the company received no compensation. But as Sir Handel said, this wasn't a severe hardship for the railway, which did recoup its losses in time. The expansion continued and all was well. For a time. Yes, I'm afraid the narrow gauge chaps still had one more trial ahead of them. But that is a story for another day.
It's close to midnight. Something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. And you start to freeze, and so it looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed, 'cause this is terror. This
midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
I'm gonna do it tonight.
Stench is in the air, the funk of 40,000 years, and grisly goons from every tomb are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller.
Despite Fort Sudrian's closure, the Navy was still a common sight on Sodor. Every so often its ships would make port to take on supplies, and every time they did, it was all hands on deck, as these jobs were very chaotic and labor-intensive. On this day, I had arrived at Brendan with a train meant for the HMS Krakatoa. Normally a straightforward and simple assignment, but it had been a rough journey, real rough. To make matters worse, I was about to suffer through an audience with the officious Pratt overseeing the operation.
Attention! Attention! You, Edward!
Attention, nothing. I'm finished here, old chap, so I'll be on my way.
Oh, no, you don't. Not till I've checked things out.
Check all you like, Chumley. I'm needed elsewhere.
You're under Navy jurisdiction. Obey orders and await my inspection.
I am under jurisdiction, Sir Topham Hats. A khaki cad like you doesn't tell me what to do.
Need I remind you, Lieutenant, that I am a colonel?
And need I remind you, Colonel, that I haven't been a lieutenant for 20 years? Now, if you'll excuse me, and even if you won't, I'll be on my way.
Oi! Get back here at once. That is an order.
Ta-ta!
Upstart, citizen. One of these days I'll show you the true meaning of discipline, and then you'll know what following orders are all about.
Blimey, that Benson, he's orders mad. Orders come before common sense in military terms. I've had a row with him too, Edward. Keep those trucks in line, he shouts, as if I've never shunted anything before. Report to me when you're finished, he says. Does he think I'm too old for this work? I think he thinks he's the only competent one here, which is absolute bollocks. Have you noticed they're loading munitions and taking fuel aboard the same ship? That's dangerous seamanship if I ever saw it. Indeed, but it's likely quicker and cheaper than using two different ships. Well, Toby, old chap, I'm gonna have me a rest at the coaling depot before heading out. It's been a hard morning and I'm feeling a bit low. And I better get back to it before...
Keep them in line, straight as a row of Marines. I'll check them out after I complete my inspection.
What did we do to deserve him?
Oi! Oi, you there! Mickey, what are you doing?
I'm standing by in case of emergencies, as is protocol. Is there a problem?
Indeed there is. You're blocking the line. This track needs to be kept clear to receive incoming traffic, so shove off.
He's a brave one trying to boss the chief about.
More like balmy. Nobody tells Mickey what to do. Well, I do, and I'm in charge, so obey orders.
First off, you desperately need therapy. And second, I don't follow your orders.
Oh, we'll see about that, laddie.
What did they say to him?
Basically to sod off.
Good. What's that khaki cad's problem? He's power hungry, plain and simple. I saw it several times in the service. The wrong people got a taste of authority and abused the hell out of it. Thank you for not being like that, Sir Topham. My pleasure. All right, engines. Servicing naval maneuvers are in full effect. The Skarloey Railway has already started bringing munitions down from Krosny Kern. Bruce and Eric, you two will collect them from Croven's Gate and bring them directly to the Krakatoa. If Benson gives you any grief, blow him up. But with your hooter, Bruce, you don't need to be that forceful. In all seriousness, sir, what do we do if he gives us different orders? Then you ignore him and refer him to me. Thomas, Francis will be dropping off a fuel tanker here later today as part of his usual run. It too is meant for the Krakatoa. You'll take it on once it's arrived. In the meantime, keep this yard in order. And Percy, I want you at Brendan immediately to help shunt the trucks. What about me, sir? The scrapyard at Barrow is overloaded. The owners have sold a sizable amount to Kildane and need help transporting it. I'm sorry this isn't the most glamorous job, but it is important. It's all right, sir. Happy to do it. Will I be handling this alone? No, your co-worker is likely already there. Who is it, sir? Henry, welcome back. When did you get out? A few hours ago. Bust my buffers. You look great. I feel great too, but if I never have a crash like that again, it'll be too soon. Bloody hoodlums tampering with the track. Please tell me the coppers caught them. Sorry, Henry, no such luck. I heard they talked to you about it. Aye, they wanted to know if I saw anyone lurking about before the crash. I told them no. Then again, I was barely conscious at the time. Barely conscious? I'm surprised to hear that. When I saw you at the works, you looked like you were at death's door. I also had a strange feeling of déjà vu. I'm not sure why. Say, Terence, if you knew the coppers spoke to Henry, does that mean you know other things about their activities? Like, say, Mr. Zorro's murder investigation? Come on, Donald, you know I never gossip, much less about police matters. All right, fine. They don't have any suspects. They did recover the bullets during the autopsy and determined the weapon used was a World War I service revolver. What? Really? Hello, Rob. What are you doing here? Checking to make sure none of these engines are alive. Terence, are you absolutely sure about the weapon used? If my sources can be believed, yes. What's wrong? My father had a service revolver from when he fought in the First World War. It went missing after he died. Perhaps I... Again, Francis? I'm afraid so, Robert. I had to thrash myself to get here on time. That was bad enough, but the situation at Wellsworth was intolerable. Do I dare ask? Attention! Attention! You, Francis, where have you been? This train should have arrived 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry, but I've been having mechanical issues, and the workmen have been rather negligent in fixing me. It's always our fault, eh, Frank? Never ends, right, Eddie? You sure you're not a steamy, Francis? The amount of heat you're putting off feels like you have a firebox instead of a motor. The only fire here, I can assure you, is the one I will light under your heels if you don't get a move on. Oh! Built up! Just fix this spam can so we can get out of the way. Thomas, the moment he's gone, grab that tanker and head down to Brendam. Yeah, I know what I'm supposed to do. Do not take that tone with me, Corporal, or I'll have you shunted for insubordination. I'll also have you shunted if you don't deliver that fuel on time. I'm always on time, and you know it. I only know what I can see, and I have seen only idleness from you Sudrians. How you can be considered the shining star of British rail is beyond me. It's because we do our jobs without acting like tossers. You should try it sometime. That's enough, Corporal. You have your assignment, so get some smoke in your funnel and some steam in your pistons. Mobilization, that is what I want, mobilization! God, to think there was a time when I used to complain about the middies being pillocks. Did you really need to include that? You asked, Donald. Oh, Benson, I can't stand that khaki cad. What an insufferable bore he is. I would do anything to avoid another encounter with him. All right, you can do the scrap work then. You'll fit in well amongst this junk. Very droll, Henry. I'll be glad to get rid of this lot. Attention! Attention! Oh no, here we go. Oi, you! The black box on wheels, move it! Hey, what, you talking to me, mister? Yeah, you, mister. Move that train. My load's first. You shouldn't move a train that's being unloaded. Nobody's talking to you, old-timer. This is my operation. I say what goes. Bah! You do well to listen to Toby, mate. Too right, he knows what's what, and so do the rest of us. And we're not moving that train, mister. You will if I order you to, and I do so order. Hey, what's going on here? Schedule says I'm next. And don't you start, laddie. Wait your turn. What? I arrive on time just like you said, and now I have to wait? That's right. There's been a change in the schedule. My load's first, so move that train on the double. Do it yourself. It's literally right in front of you. All right, I will. Benson, stay back. That train is unsafe. Do not give me orders. If I want to move, I'll... What? How'd that happen? You dummy. Oh no, back up quick. All right, everybody, stay calm. The situation's under control. The hell it is. I know what's in those bands. Get clear, the whole thing's gonna blow. Emergency, emergency. Clear the area immediately. Jesus Christ, look at that! Is there anything that isn't on fire? You think that's bad? Just you wait. The Krakatoa is already burning, and she was fully loaded when that khaki cat started this, which is why we need to combat the blaze directly and contain the spread. To do that, we'll need your help. You've all had fire training, so it's time to put it to good use. Percy, take those water tanks up to the station. Try and keep it from burning down. On my way, sir! Eric, start dousing that shed. Keep it and those trucks from going up in flames.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I'll do my best, sir.
Derek, follow me to the Krakatoa. We'll see if we can save her. Yes, sir. The petrol's caught fire! And that tank's fully loaded! I'll take it out of here! Don't do it! Stay back! If that blows, it'll take you with it! And if it blows here, it might take us all out! Mickey, give Thomas a hand! He's burning up! We don't have any water tanks to spare! Get that thing out of here quickly! What do you think I'm doing? I'm not here to keep warm, you know! Thomas, are you mad? Don't worry about me, Percy! That's a little hard to do since you're practically holding away a bomb! That thing's gonna blow me! Just leave it, will ya? I'll be okay! Cut the chatter, Percy! Keep dousing the station! Yes, sir! How are you going, Eric?
I can control it, sir. Don't worry.
All right, keep at it. Derek, we need to move up further. I can't. My engine's cut out. Damn it. Toby, Bruce, front and center on the double. Oh, this is really hot and really hard to move. Oh, the brake blocks must be melting together. This is getting too dangerous. I've got to get out of... Thomas! That's Thomas! The tanker! He... Stay put, Percy, but he may need help! Stay where you are! Alright, lads, we'll need to move back. She's gonna keel any second. There's nothing more we can do. Stand clear, everyone! Stand clear! She's going! Oh, look at the state of the dockside. Yeah, that's nothing. If you lot hadn't stepped in, the fire could have spread throughout the harbour and beyond. Well done, all of you. Don't celebrate just yet. We still need to worry about Thomas. Right, let's go.